Gurung Narayanakyam Tam Vande Vinoda Pristakam Yatpada Smriti Matrena Dhamodhara Prasidati Namo Mahavalanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dheena Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Bolo Sita Ram Bhagavan Ki Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai Dasharat Maharaj Ki समस्त अयोध्या भासी भक्त वृंद की जय जय श्री राधे श्याम Hare Krishna. First I am offering my prostrated obeisances again and again to my most worshipful Guru Pada Padma Param Aradhitam Astotashta Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, and to the entire Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please accept my Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. So since Wednesday, we have been celebrating Shri Ram Navami, the auspicious appearance of Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Satrughna, in this beautiful home temple, Krishna Mohan Prabhuji, and with so many wonderful devotees here assembled together, Rama Prabhu, all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Matajis, please accept my pranam. Yesterday, what katha? Ram Janma Din, Ram Janmotsava, appearance of Lord Ram. So tonight we have about half hour maybe. I thought we can speak a little bit about, because we don't have time to cover the whole Leela. Maharaj will come tomorrow, I think. We'll hopefully speak. And Sunday also. So tonight I'll speak a little bit about some of the different associates of Lord Ram and their glories, along with glories of Lord Ram. Bhagavan never comes alone. Bhagavan and his bhaktas, they're always together. Bhakti Bhakta Bhagavan. These three things can never be divided and separated. They're always connected. Wherever Bhagavan is present, Bhaktas are present. And wherever the Bhaktas are present, Bhakti Devi is present. So therefore, to please Bhagavan, we must remember and glorify his devotees. Therefore, when we celebrate days like Ram Navami, we are remembering and praying to all the intimate associates of Lord Ram, to Sita Devi, Dasarat Maharaj, Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, Bharat, Satrughna, Lakshman, Hanuman. Without Hanuman, where's the Ramayan? Without Hanuman. Ram with all his devotees, then it is complete. Sugriv, Angad, Nalanil, so many wonderful bhaktas are in Ram Leela, Vibhishan. And when we study the pastimes of each of the associates of Lord Ram, we can see how they served in Ram Leela by their own character, by their own activities. How Sita Devi was always serving without ever complaining, without ever, chastising or without ever condemning her fate. Even through all hardships, Sita Devi was always full of so much grace, so much tolerance. And we can learn from this Our Gurudev would always say one verse that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurvir vididhan namaste jive tayo mukti pade sa dhayam vak. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us how we can live in this world without incurring sinful reaction. And in this way we can escape this prison house of Maya or samsara and achieve the Lord's eternal abode and association and loving service. And we can see how this verse was followed by all the associates of Ram and his Leela. What does this verse mean? Tateinu kampam susamikshamano bunjan evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurvir vididam namaste jive yo mukti pade sadhayam vak. It says, how can we achieve mukti? Real salvation. The Bhagavatam says, what is real mukti? Mukti hit anvata rupena swarupena vyavasthiti. To be present in one's eternal nature, form, serving the Lord. That is real moksha. So we all as souls have that chance to be in the Lord's eternal abode. Whether it's Ayodhya, Svetadvip, or Krishna Lila, Gaur Lila, Ram Lila, every soul has that potential to be with God, in relationship with Him. That is mukti. But in order to get that mukti, we have to follow a process, sadhana, practice. So this verse gives one of those crucial parts of the practice. It means if we want to achieve that mukti, we must learn to tolerate difficulties that come to us, not blaming nature, reality, or others, or God. Whatever is my karma will come to me. Koi baat nahi, no problem. I will not blame others for my own difficulties. Rather, I will accept this as the mercy of the Lord. And that mercy is coming to me to eradicate all my sinful tendencies, my pap bij, all my karma vasana, materialistic tendencies. Kunti Devi said in the Bhagavatam, very beautiful verse, Vipada shantu tasta sat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatshyad apunar bhavadharshanam. Similar sentiment. Bhagavan Shri Krishna asked Kunti Devi, what would you like? Ask me whatever you desire. I will grant it. Kunti Devi, this was after so many difficulties had come in their life. As soon as she had the Pandavas, even from her childhood, she had many struggles. Great difficulty came. Duryodhana made a house for them, house of lac, tried to burn them alive. Duryodhana would poison Bhima and try to kill him. Again and again, their kingdom was stolen away. Draupadi was disrobed. Again and again, so many problems came, but she tolerated everything. Not blaming Krishna. Oh, I am so near to Krishna. I am relative to Krishna. Why is this happening to me? Sometimes, devotees, we may think, oh, I am always doing bhakti bhajan, but problems are coming. It's Bhagavan ka dosh. This is Bhagavan's fault. Roti kapara makan, itin Bhagavan. If everything is nice, then God is good. But when problems come, oh, Krishna is very naughty. So Kunti Devi, Krishna asked, what would you like? Kunti Devi said, Vipada shantu tasasvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatshyat apunar bhavadarshanam. Let all these problems come to me again and again. No problem. Because when these problems come, I more easily remember you. When do people call out to God the most? Oh, when everything is very nice, job is good, wealth is there, family, happiness in this world. Then God is dusty on the altar. But when problem is there, Hai Bhagavan, Raksha Karo, Raksha Karo, Raksha Karo. So Kunti Devi said, when problems come, I more easily remember you. And by remembering you, Bhavato Darshanam Yatshyat, Again, I will not have to see this samsara, struggling in samsara. Then I'll be free of that for all time. So these problems are a small price to pay for mukti. Small price. But if we don't develop tolerance, then we cannot get this mukti. Because we repeat the cycle of karma. Tit for tat. Jaise taise. Someone did this to me, I will repay them double. And then karma cycle goes on and on and on. But if we develop this mood like Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi sunichena tororivasa hisuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. I will become tolerant like a tree. A tree, everything is for others. The fruits are for others. The bark is for others. The wood is for others. The shade is for others. Nothing is for itself. So we can see this example in the life and the associates of Lord Ram. Lord Ram is Bhagavan. And yet, he happily took exile for 14 years. Just like in Mahabharata, Pandavas also took exile. Bhagavan is showing, not only my devotees go through hardship, I myself accept this. Sometimes devotees struggle. Krishna Bhagavan is saying, I also have hardships, but I accept those happily. As it comes, no problem. But the whole time, anyhow I will continue to engage in my bhakti or my dharma. Ramchandra said famously, Raghukuleri te sarachale aaye pran jai bara vachana na jai. I will rather give up my life than to break my vow. Samkhya purvaka nama gana nativi kala vasani krito nitra hara vihara kadi vidito satyanta dina chayo. This is the path of our saints. No matter what hardship, they do not break their vow of sadhana bhakti. They will not break their practice. Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairagyara Patanera Reka. His path of sadhana was like lines in stone. Nothing could alter his course. Nothing could change his determination. So we can see that in Ram Leela, with every associate. Ramchandra, even though he was going to be king, when Kaikeyi made this wish, oh, you should go to the forest. And she asked Dasarath Maharaj, Ram should be exiled, Bharat should become king. Ram did not protest or fight. Yes, no problem. Very good. He gave up his royal opulence without shoes, wearing clothes that you can, trees and bark and leaves, loincloth, very simple garments. They entered the forest. Bharat Maharaj, what did Bharat do? He also, because he said, oh, my brother will become exiled, I also will not enter into the capital. I will not sleep in the royal quarters. He also became a hermit. For 14 years, Bharat dressed like Ram, ate like Ram. My Prabhu is taking austerity. My Prabhu is accepting Vairagya. I also must follow that. Bharat Maharaj, how strong. He said, you are following your dharma. But how can I give up my dharma? You are my Bharabhai, not only my Bhagavan. You are not just my big brother, you are like my God. And so therefore Bharat, when Ramchandra went to the forest, Bharat came back and he brought all Ayodhya-vasis and requested Ram, no, please come back. You have left. Our father's wish was that you follow out this order. Dasarath Maharaj thought, let me change. No problem. You don't have to accept the order. But then Ram said, Raghukulerit sarachalaya pranjay para vachana na jai. If we think, oh, because this is uncomfortable, this is disturbing us, this is difficult, then now we can break our vow. That means our vow never had any power. If it's always easy, then what is the point of a sankalpa? When it's difficult, then you get to see sankalpa is strong or not. Dhrida vrata, very strong sankalpa. Now the time was very, this time we can change the rule, this time we don't have to follow our vow. Ram said, no, better I go, and everyone may suffer, but we will not break our word. We will not break our sankalpa. So Bharat Maharaj went to the forest with everyone and said, Ram, please come back. And they had a discussion around this topic. And Janak Maharaj came. Janak Maharaj is one of Mahajans. He would be the judge. Will Ram come back or will he go? And in the discussion, he said, Bharat is victorious. Bharat has won. If he chooses, Ram should return. He said, Bharat Maharaj's love for Ram is like an ocean with no shore and no depth, no bottom and no side. Endless ocean of love. Bhakti Yoga. The devotee's bhakti for Bhagavan is even more powerful than Bhagavan's. Because Bhagavan has so many devotees. But bhaktas are always one-pointed. And so bhakti conquers the heart of God. So Janak Maharaj said, Bharat is victorious because of his bhakti for Ram. Ram must accept his instruction. Even though Bhagavan is without jeep, ajit, can never be conquered. He is conquered by the love of his devotees. Therefore Janak Maharaj said, Bharat's love is like an ocean, Ram's maryad is like a mountain. Even though the mountain is in the ocean, the mountain does not move. But if Bharat requests, then Ram should listen. Then he said to Bharat, O Bharat, you have love for Ram, but is your love for you or for him? You love him. What is the nature of love? Do you want what he likes or do you want what you want? Have you ever thought, I want Ram to come back. Ayodhya Vasis want Ram to come back. Bhagavan, Ram kya chahte? What does Ram want? You should ask him. Then Bharat realized, oh, I'm only thinking what I like. I want Ram to come back. What does Ram like? I'm thinking, oh, now Ram is going exile and this is a very, very bad thing. But what is Ram's desire? That's why sometimes it's difficult to understand what is Hari Guru Vaishnav like. We have our ideas, but Hari Guru Vaishnav, they are Trikaliga. They know past, present, future. They know everything, what is right, what is wrong. Now we think this is right now. But what is right long term? They know this. Therefore, Ramchandraji, what would you like? Ram said, I must go to the forest. I will go for 14 years and then I will come back. This was my father's instruction. Dasarath Maharaj already left. Dasarath Maharaj had so much love for Ram that when Ram left, Haram, and he left, Mukti, because of his priti for Ram. So Ram said, my father gave me this as his last instruction. Now how can I not follow that? I must go. I have many responsibilities. What is that responsibility? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Every age I come. So Lord Ram came Treta Yuga. Krishna says Bhagavad Gita, Sambhavami yuge yuge. Every age I will come. To do what? Paritranaya sadhanam. To protect the sadhus. Where do the sadhus live? They do not all live in the royal palace. They do not all live in the royal city. They're in the forest, in the caves, in jungles, doing tapasya. All these sadhus were being tormented by the demons, the followers of Ravan, taxing them, trying to disturb them. There was a mountain of Brahmin thread and a mountain of bones. In Ramayana you can read, when Ram went to the forest, they saw a mountain of bones and another mountain of only Brahmin thread. Why? The Rakshasa would go and torment and disturb the sadhus again and again and again. And when the sadhus would get disturbed, doing very horrible things, whenever they're doing yaga, throwing stool, throwing urine, throwing blood, throwing dead animals. And then the sadhus would get upset, disturbed and curse. Then their Shakti would be gone, then the Rakshasas would eat them, cook a nice feast, and keep the bones one side, and the Brahmin thread one side, and keep it like a trophy. And the Rakshasas would be very happy. Look at our Sadhu Parvat. Mountain of Sadhu bones in Jandu. So Ram is Paritranaya Sadhana. He has to go protect the sadhus. And Vinashaya Chaduskrita, destroy the demons. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, what did he do? From beginning of his Leela and Braj, he had to kill the demons. Putana, Trinavarta, Agasura, Bhakasura, Dhenukasura. So many demons. And then, he could not just stay in Braj. He had to go. Mathura, more demons. Jarasandha, Ravana. Then, Jarasandha 18 times attacked. And 18 times Krishna annihilated the demons. And then Mahabharata. So from Krishna's Leela, so much he had to perform this seva. So therefore Ram said, I must go. And he had desire to meet with his bhaktas. Bhagavan does not discriminate. This bhakta is low, this bhakta is high. In Ayodhya, all the bears and the squirrels and the monkeys could not come and be with Ram. They would not accept. Oh, 1 crore monkeys, Banaras will live in Ayodhya. So Ram is thinking, all my bhaktas are there waiting for me. Hanuman, Sugriv, all the Banaras, they are Ram's very dear bhaktas. So Ram thought, I must go and meet with my bhaktas. This is Bhagavan's seva. People say, what is Bhagavan's seva? Bhagavan's service, seva is giving darshan to the devotees. Exchanging love with the devotees, taking their prasad, like the story of Shabadi. Every day she would make the pathway for Ram to come. Matanga Rishi, her guru, had said, stay in the ashram. Every day bring fruits, berries, and every day lay the pathway with flowers for Ram to come. One day Ram will come. So Ram, if he did not take exile, how would he meet with her? So he must go and give darshan. So Ram said, I must go. Also, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Meghnad, Indrajit, they tormented the Devatas. Indrajit, Ravan's son Indrajit conquered Indra. And therefore he was a disturbance to all the Devatas. Therefore the Devatas appeared as Vanaras. All the Devatas, Hanuman, Bali, Sugriv, they are all Devatas. Vayu Devata, Hanuman, Surya Devata, Bali, Sugriv, all of them were Devatas because Ravan had a boon. I cannot be killed by any Devata or by any other personality, this kind of personality. But he thought, oh, Vanaras and Manushya, they are like insects to me. I don't have to think about that. So therefore Devatas came as Vanaras. So Ram is thinking, I have to help the Devatas, I have to help this. Therefore for 14 years, Ayodhya-vasis can tolerate separation. 14 years. Then for thousands of years, Ram continued his Rajya. Ram Rajya, how many thousands and thousands of years? 14 years, not so long. I have to do this seva. Also Ram thought, I must show what is this Leela. Ramayan, without Ram going to the forest. Where's the Leela? Where's the masala, chatpata, mirch? If Ram did not take exile, no mirch in the sabji. Fika ho jayega, they don't become bland, fika. So he thought some chili is good, some lemon is good, some achar, masala is good. Then I will go to the forest. Then so many pastimes. So therefore Ram went. But Bharat Maharaj, 14 years, he said, I will only be like a steward. I am not the king. And so he said, Lord Ram, please give me your paduka. And he took Ram's paduka and put them on the throne. Put them on the throne, and every day did arati and offered pranam. And he said, when you are finished, if 14 years goes by, because the order was, Dasarath Maharaj's order, 14 years, then you will come back from exile. So Bharat said, if one day goes by, more than 14 years, I will enter into fire. So when Ram defeated Ravan, and they were coming back on the celestial airplane, it was going to be 1-2 days late. So Hanuman came first, and flew in the sky. And as he came to Ayodhya, he saw Bharat Maharaj, there's a huge fire. And Bharat Maharaj is doing parikrama. Dusk of the last day of the 14 years. And he was thinking, if Ram does not come back today, I will give up my life. Just look at his bhakti. Oh. Now we think, oh, Guru is gone. Oh, good chance. I am Guru. But Bharat Maharaj, oh, if Ram is not there, give up my life. No need this life. My life is only for Ram Seva. If Ram does not come back, how will I serve Ram? I don't want to be Ram. This is the mood of the Bhaktas. Tulsidas says, Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas, beautiful verse. Sevya sevaka bhava vinuna bhavatarya iha urugada bhajya ram pada pankaja sabakaj visar. Hanumanji said, my mood and Bhagavan's mood, this is eternal, pakka. This will not break. Sevya sevaka bhav. Bhagavan is always Bhagavan, I am always Das. This is the mood of the Bhakta. So Bharat Maharaj is thinking, I am Bhakta. He is Bhagavan. Why will I take this position of king? If he does not come back, I will give up my life. His vow, sankalpa, raghukule nita sarachalaya, prana jaya, varabhacana jaya. Hanuman came down from the sky and begged, oh Bharat, I have heard your glory, sastan pranam. Look at your determination, look at your priti, your love for Ram. He said, Ram is just now coming, just now coming. And then a few hours later, Ram arrived and they met together. So just see the glory of Bharat Maharaj. The glory of Lakshman. Lakshman was Pakka Brahmachari for 14 years. Ramji was there with Sita. But Lakshman left Urmila home because he thought, if my wife comes, how will I serve Ram nicely? So I'm only Sevak. 14 years he did not even look at the face of Sita Mata. Would only look at her charan, lotus feet. Because he was completely chaste. Showing Pakka Brahmacharya. Not even the slightest, what to speak of lusty idea. Not even a chance for that. Meaning he's showing the perfect ideal. Not even Brahmachari in the mat in India we're told. Brahmachari should look 3 feet ahead. Not more. When you're walking, 3 feet. Enough to see that you don't fall in a ditch. Otherwise, oh, Maya is very dangerous. So Lakshman showed how to be Pakka Brahmachari. He said, Sita is my mother. And every day he would serve. Nighttime he would not sleep. Why? Some demon might attack. So he would arrange, kutir very nice, everything, collect food, everything, prepare, serve Lord Ram. And then nighttime, all night he would stay watch. Guarding. Otherwise, Sita Devi, not that, oh, Ram cannot fight a demon. Not that Ram is not capable. But let him, I don't want any disturbance to come. I remember our Gurudev, Navadvip, one Vaishnava, Premanand, we made a house, bought house nearby the Parikrama, Keshaji Gaudiya Mat in Navadvip, 100 yards away. Why? Because in the middle of Parikrama space, 15,000 people, always so much noise. So if Gurudev is a little bit away, nighttime you can sleep nicely. Otherwise, if you're sleeping, next to you is 15,000 people. And all the tension of, oh, tomorrow cooking, tomorrow going there, tomorrow this arrangement. So Gurudev was so happy, he said, since many years, I was not able to sleep properly, but now I'm resting very peacefully. Why? I know you're doing everything. All the prasadam, all the arrangements, everything is done, I have no tension. So Lakshman mood was like that, Pakka Sevak. No attention should come to Ram. Therefore he was always protecting. When Indrajit was killed, or Meghnad, his wife came at Sri Lanka. His wife came and said, I want darshan of this person. I want to meet that person who killed him. Lakshman. Even Ram did not kill this person. Why? Because this personality had a boon. Only Pakka Brahmachari could kill him. And that Brahmachari, 14 years, no sleeping, no eating. How is that possible? So his wife came and said, I want to meet that person and ask him face to face how he killed my husband. And so she had darshan of Lakshman. And she asked him, and Lakshman was first silent because he does not want to speak his own glories. We don't like to speak our own glories. But because she was asking, he humbly said, yes. 14 years I've only looked at the feet of Sita Mata. I'm always honoring and respecting everyone. And for 14 years, every night I stayed guard. So I did not sleep. You did not eat also. Said, when Ram would finish, he is my elder brother and Sita. I would first feed Ram and Sita. Sometimes when everything was finished, Ram would say, here is something. But he did not tell me to eat. So without his order, how do I eat? They gave it, but did not tell, now sit eat. So I kept everything in packets all over the forest. So Hanuman went and checked. So every place they'd gone, some prasad is there. Such as Lakshman Vrat. For Ram, I can do anything. He is Baladev, he is Shesh, he is Ananta. He is always Santusht. Antaram. Up the Ram, up the Kam. Always self-satisfied, doesn't need anything. Only Seva. Look at Lakshman. Also, Lakshman, how much did he tolerate? How much did Lakshman tolerate? Sita Devi even spoke very harsh words towards him. When he made the Lakshman Rekha, you are thinking, when Ram will die, then you will become my husband. You must go at once. She spoke so harshly. Lakshman did not say anything. Yes, Mata. And he went to protect Ram. But first he drew the Lakshman Rekha. Then Sita was kidnapped by Ravan. But this was not the original Sita. Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahaprabhu once met a Brahmin in South India. And the Brahmin said, Mahaprabhu, come in for lunch prasad. And so Mahaprabhu went to bathe and come back. When Mahaprabhu came back, he saw the Brahmin was weeping and weeping and weeping. He said, Janaki Mata has been kidnapped by Ravan, and how can I cook? She is gone, and until she comes back, how can I cook? That was his bhav. So Mahaprabhu thought, how can I console him? What can I say? So Mahaprabhu continued. And when he was in South India, he read this Sanskrit sloka that said this is Chaya Sita. Before Ravan kidnapped, original Sita Devi was protected and taken by Agni Devata. And then when Ravan, because otherwise Sita is completely pure, Ravan could never touch her. Chaya Sita was kidnapped and stayed 1 year in Ashok Vatika, Sri Lanka. Original Sita was never touched. So therefore Ram brought this verse back and showed to this Brahmin that the Brahmin, on the way back, he was peaceful and he cooked and took prasad with Mahaprabhu. So therefore Sita Devi, you can see her glories. People think, Sita Devi, when she was coming back from Ashok Vatika, after Ravan was defeated, Ram told Lakshman, bring lakari, bring wood and start a funeral, a fire. Lakshman thought, how can I follow this order? Look at the difficulty of being younger brother. Whatever big brother says you have to follow. Lakshman was thinking, Sita Devi is completely pure, completely sati. And yet, you want me to, after we've done all this labor for Sita, she was kidnapped. We searched and searched and searched, built a bridge over, defeated Ravan, fought the whole army, and become victorious. For what? Now you want to burn her? But Lakshman did not argue with his brother Ram. Ram, why are we doing this? Internally he thought, next life, I'll be Balaram. Sevak? But big brother Sevak. Vatsalyamut. Balaram is Vatsalyamut and Sakyamut. Friendship, but also like a parent, big brother, always looking after. He thought that way, if Krishna tells me something, I can think, should I follow or not follow? I can say something. I won't let Krishna, tell me what to do. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, brothers, but Nitai is Bharavai. Therefore, Mahaprabhu always respected Nityananda. When the bhaktas would come to offer mala and pranam, first to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu is displeased. Mahaprabhu said, first offer pranam to Nityananda, and first mala to Nityananda, then to me. So therefore, Lakshman he accepted, no problem. But next appearance, I'll be Bharavai, big brother. Why is Ram telling me to make a fire to burn Sita? But again, do we know the mood of the Lord? Why is Bhagavan doing this? Bhagavan is not doubting Sita. Ram did not doubt Sita, or Sita is impure. The praja, the subjects will doubt. Therefore for them, he wants to establish Sita's purity. And he knows Sita is completely pure. The fire will not touch her. Agni Dev is Devata. If he likes, it will burn. If he doesn't like, it will not burn. When Hanuman's tail was lit on fire, it did not burn. No pain. So therefore, when Sita Devi entered, Chaya Sita returned, Adi Sita, original Sita, came back. This was one of Ram's reasons. Original Sita must come back. Chaya Sita can go to Chaya. Also, let it be shown that Sita is pure. So when she had this Agni Pariksha, fire test, Dasarath Maharaj and all the devatas came in the sky and said she is pure. So Ram was thinking, I must establish the glory of Sita Devi. Still, even when they came back, again the subjects criticized. Washerman, his wife was away at an in-law's house, and the night time there was a storm. And when she came back the next day, she had been a night away. Washerman said, Dobi, I am not like Ram. Oh, you can be away for a long time, I'll accept you back. He rejected his wife. And Ram heard of this news. Oh, alas. Even I am doing so much to glorify and establish the pavitrata of Sita Devi. Still they have this contaminated mentality. Therefore he said, for the benefit of the praja, that they can develop honor and respect, Sita will go to the forest. And he knew that who will come to glorify Sita? Lav and Kush. Ram and Sita's two sons, Lav and Kush, they grew up in the ashram of Valmiki, not knowing their father is Ram. And they were taught the entire Ramayana, and we began to chant and sing it everywhere, especially the glories of Sita Devi. And they began to do like Shaptahas. Every village, all around this whole kingdom, and everyone is hearing the glories of Ram and Sita and developing faith. When you make aparad, because they were making aparad to Sita, with this mentality. So if you make aparad, how can you purify it? First, you must develop a mood of faith and honor. If you have no respect, then I made offense, but I don't regard that person, so that offense means nothing. I don't think you are anything, then I can offend you. Once I realize your glories, then I can feel repentance and desire to atone. So when they were hearing the glories of Sita Devi and Ram, everyone began to develop faith and feel, what have we done? Repentance. Without that mood of repentance, we can never achieve atonement, prayashchitta. So everyone began to feel, alas, what have we done? What have we done? Sita Devi must come back. And then when Ram himself heard from Lav and Kush, then he sent his gurus and ministers, please bring back Sita Mata. And then Sita Mata came back, then everyone had proper respect. So therefore, Bhagavan does everything knowing what is proper. Therefore we must have faith. Guru, Bhagavan, they know what is right and wrong. Trikala Gya, past, present, future. We don't know past, present, future, therefore Guru Vaishnava, Bhagavan says, yes, Haribo, as you wish. Your wish is my command. Gurudev, you have this desire, I will follow. Therefore we see the glories of Sita Devi. So therefore we are hearing this Ramayana, all the pastimes of Lord Ram. We should develop proper honor. We should not think Ram is ordinary Manushya, ordinary man. One time, Sati and Shiva, Shankar, Sati had some doubt. Bhagavan hai kya? Ram is Bhagavan. Why? How is it possible? When Sita was kidnapped, Ram was going, ha Sita, and running like a madman. And Sati thought, if he is Bhagavan, he knows, oh, Ravan took her, he's in Lanka, he can immediately go defeat, bring him back. Why is he lamenting like this? He must be an ordinary Manusha, ordinary man. So she asked Shankar, hey, Bhagavan, Ram is Bhagavan, Narayan is Bhagavan, Vishnu is Bhagavan, Ram is prince, king, he's not Bhagavan. She had doubt. So Shankar said, no, you should not criticize. But then Sati, what did she do? She took the form of Sita and went in the forest. When Ram was looking, Sita, ha Sita, ha Sita. Sita Devi appeared, Sati. And Ram would ignore her and go another way. Again, she would appear in front. Ram is running, where is Sita, where is Sita? And she would see he's coming this way, she would go in front. And Ram would go another way. Ha Sita, ha Sita, ha Sita. Finally she came in front, like right in front. And Ram offered pranam. Oh, Mata. Oh, Sati Devi. Kaise? How are you? How is Shankar ji? Shankar ji kaise? Sati, face red. Offered pranam. Oh, very good, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Went back to Shankar. What did Shankar do? Before she would sit next to him, now he said, oh, here's your asan. Ram said, oh, you are trying to be my wife, but you are my mother. Why? Another man's wife is our mother. Therefore, oh Mata. Ram said, oh Mata, how are you? How is Shankar? But when she came back, what did Shankar say? You took the form of Lakshmi. So therefore you are my mother. You can sit in front. Sati, hi, kya kiya maine? What have I done? So we should never have doubt. Garuji had doubt in Ram. When Ram and Lakshman were bound by the Nagpas, snake weapon, nothing could free them. So they said, you must chant Garuda mantra. And Garuda will come. As soon as Garuda started to come, all the Nagpas left, snake weapon left. So then what happened? Garuda thought, I am best sevak of Bhagavan. I am his carrier, Vishnu's carrier. Who is this Ram Lakshman? Just by me coming nearby, the weapon left. And yet they are laying there powerless. What kind of leela is this? So Garuji developed doubt. Ram, Lakshman, they are performing their leela. Like in a drama, if you're performing your role, doesn't mean you are powerless. You're performing this leela. Why? The Lord leela is so attractive that right now we are speaking about it. Ramayan, if it was all like, oh, Vishnu come, Sudarshan Chakra finished, ho gaya leela. No leela. Bhagavan is most powerful. Who is this Ravan? Just by thinking he is dead. No need for Hanuman, no need for all the bhaktas, no need for the bridge. He's Bhagavan, he can send Sudarshan from the other side and kill Ravan, all the army, and send an airplane and Sita is coming back. But then what is the Leela? So he is giving us this Leela to attract us to him. Anugrahaya bhaktana manusham deham ashrita. Yadrishi tadrishi krita. He is performing his very sweet pastimes that attracts the heart and mind, full of so much, our Gurudev would say, so much sadness also. Then we can never forget, oh, how is Rama Katha? Our Gurudev from childhood, he would hear Rama Katha and weep and weep and weep. Rama Katha also is very difficult. Why? Showing us this world is ultimately not full of happiness. Samsara dukha jalado patitasya kama krodari nakramakarir kavalikritasya durvasana gatana ninvasya kritasya chaitanya chandra mamadehi padavalamvam. Samsara dukha jalado. Happiness in this world is like drops of honey coming while we are on the edge of death. Every moment there's a story. One person was chased by a tiger. He entered a well to save himself, so the tiger could not get him. He was holding on to two branches. Underneath were serpents trying to bite him. Next to the well was the tiger trying to eat him. And on the two branches, two mice were eating the branches, black and white. Day and night is eating away all our time. Underneath us, so many problems, so many snakes, and the tiger of death waiting to devour us. But some drops of honey were falling from a honeycomb, and he would stick out his tongue. And after 20-30 minutes, one drop would come. Oh, life is successful.
Very tasty.
Very tasty. So samsara dukkha jalado. Happiness comes, but also distress comes. But both of these are matra sparsastu kunteya sutoshna sukha dukkada agama paino nityastam statiksha bharata. Second chapter, verse 14, Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita, learn to tolerate. This is all winter, summer, happiness, distress. Ultimately, what is the real pain? Real dukh, real pain is separation from our Prabhu Bhagavan. Viraha dukh, separation from devotees. Therefore, we cannot tolerate this. Paritranaya sadhanam. Why has Bhagavan come? Devotees are not so concerned with the demons, but they want darshan of the Lord. Paritranaya sadhanam. So the Lord comes, gives his darshan, gives his lila, and by this way, the devotees come to his own abode. And then all dukh is gone. Dukkha dure gelo chinta narahilo chodike ananda deki. How can we see happiness? We want happiness? There's one way to get real happiness. Atma nivedan tua padakori hoinu parama sukhi dukkha dure gelo chinta narahilo chodike ananda deki. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, when I offer my heart to God, Atma nivedan, this is the ninth limb of bhakti. Ram Navami, Navada Bhakti is connected. All the limbs of Navada Bhakti are perfectly followed by all the associates of Ram. Last limb, Atma Nivedanam, complete surrender. So Atma Nivedan Tua Padakori, when I offer myself to your lotus feet, Chodike Ananda Deki, at that point I become completely happy. Hoinu Paramasuki, I become supremely happy. Dukkha Duregelo, all distress is gone. Chintanara hilo, I have no more worries. Chodike Ananda Deki. So therefore, when we take shelter of Lord Ram, how do we take shelter of Lord Ram? By taking shelter of Lord Ram, all happiness comes. Real happiness, Ananda. Ananda Mayobhyasat. The Lord is reservoir of bliss. Amritasya Putra. We are children of that abode of bliss. Amritasya Putra. Vedanta says, Tamasama Jyotirgamaya. Go from darkness to light. Happiness in this world is tama, darkness. It is not relationship with Bhagavan. Bhakti, then we can get true Ananda. Therefore we pray to Gurudev, Bhakti Bhava Prem Tina Prakasata. Guru can give Bhakti Bhava and Prem. But first we must surrender. Oh, I am yours. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dheena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste. Lord Ram is avatar of Lord Krishna. Keshava Drita Rama Sarira Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Oh Keshav, sometimes you appear as Varaha, sometimes as Nrsingadev, sometimes as Vaman, sometimes as Parashuram,